lots of it. A lot of money has been lost in the last week or so in cryptocurrencies, and I'm saying in the numbers of tens of billions, maybe even hundreds of billions of dollars has been lost just in the last several days. If this trend continues and people start to lose faith, they like the ability to access and to be able to exchange internationally with the cryptocurrencies, but they don't like the unstableness of them, then those people are going to more broadly and openly accept central bank digital currencies. I saw this past week that India has unveiled their CBDC, and there are several other countries that are very quickly coming online with that. Now, for those of you that haven't been paying attention to CBDCs and why they're so bad, you need to catch up. Because once the U.S. currency and all global currencies, or at least most of them, are pretty much done away with and devalued, and the only thing that we have are central bank digital currencies, our world is going to vastly change. The stuff that's happened up until now around the world and here in the United States, whether it's politically or economically or socially, have been a progression to a point. And once that happens, that's kind of the end be all end all kind of point. From that point further, this world is going to be very different. Your freedoms are going to be gone in a very quick manner once CBDCs become a reality. This is one of the things that you most certainly need to be preparing for. This is why.
Shalom, Kahala Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rukal Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David, reborn again in this generation. And Shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In the video we just watched, the man you've seen, who is a fairly well-known prepper, Apostle Tahar put me onto his channel, and I think his name is Homestead Prepper or something, but fairly sensible man, right? Brings out a lot of good points, and he's also religious, so he does have that spiritual inclination. So that being said, the point that he brought out was regarding this last week's recent cryptocurrency crash, which, if you're paying attention to these cryptocurrencies, you know that right now they're pretty much crashing, right? Namely FXT, which was supposedly like the golden child of Bitcoin, right? But before we get into that, let's read this, because all this crashing and manipulating of these cryptocurrency markets is all done by plan, right? This is all in an effort to push forward Esau's these Edomites agenda. But let's read this first. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay, and these cryptocurrencies, the cryptocurrencies and the crash and the unstableness and the fraud and the corruption within these cryptocurrencies is part of that agenda, right? It's part of Satan's devices. As you've seen here, it says crypto crash intensifies amid downfall of industries white knight, Bankman Fried. All right, it says Forbes staff says, I cover let's see, so this guy here, he was basically the CEO of this cryptocurrency called FTX, okay? And pretty much he was one of these like democratic woke persons, and his name's Sam Bankman Frieds, right? And for the most part, he was worth about $16 billion, but because of all the things that he's done, he pretty much was trying to line the pockets of these democratic elites, right? From Bill Clinton's organizations to, I think he was like the second largest Democratic donator in the last presidential election. I think he donated like $16 billion or something to that effect. Basically, all that, it turns out that that money was, for the most part, all investors' money, right? That wasn't his money, right? This guy now, he literally lost his $26 billion or what is it? Yeah, $1 billion worth of value, right? So this guy's now worth nothing, and this is one of those these Edomites, man, who basically, you know, twist numbers and everything. He came from MIT, and apparently this whole FTX cryptocurrency had the system of the MIT physics department built into it. So, you know, they made, you know, like Esau is, man, he's a great salesman, and he basically, this guy here was, the stories are coming out now that he basically tried to scam a lot of people, including Elon Musk of Tesla and SpaceX notoriety, right? So so ultimately what happens is, what's happening along with this guy's you know, corruption that's being put on display for the whole world, right, to see, is so that way people start getting scared of privately ran cryptocurrencies, things like Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, FTX, right? And why is that? Well, because in about a month, when President Biden's executive order to allow America to, or to force America to get into the digital currency of their own, the America's own CBDC, or digital dollar, right? A lot of investment people are calling them Biden bucks, right? Basically, you got Esau's, you know, major countries now either banning or, you know, highlighting the corruption and the unstableness of these private cryptocurrencies. And just like that man in the video at the beginning of this lesson said, a lot of people who are going to be hearing about these stories about the collapsing of the cryptocurrencies, that don't want to get involved in it because they don't want to lose their money, but they know that they're going to have to move over, are going to gladly move over to government ran CBDCs, right? So this is which is why right now we're hearing a lot of news about how corrupt and unregulated these private cryptocurrencies are, right? And again, like I said, it's right on time for when the central bank digital currencies are going to be pushed out. Now, right here, let me close this real quick. So this right here is the AtlanticCouncil.org, and it, for the most part, shows you all of the crypto or the central bank digital currencies that are currently underway. And as you can see from this map, it shows you that all the pink signs, right, all the pink dots are places that have already started using CBDCs, and then the green signs, places like like China, and I think that's Saudi Arabia and South Africa, they've already implemented like a beta test, right? And we also understand that just recently India also is part of that, so right, so they're no longer in development, as you can see here. But look at all these things, man. Pretty much every country in the Western world is running their own digital currency, right? They're in the process of getting that their CBDCs underway, right? Now, why is that such a big issue? Well, as that prepper guy said, right, once these CBDCs come online, you're gonna miraculously find out that the existing economies are gonna all start collapsing, right? To the point where all the world economies are gonna collapse, and those dollar bills, that physical money, that physical fiat money, I should say, is gonna, though you may physically still have it, it's gonna be worthless. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you have it in a bank, under your bed, in a safe, in your pockets, whatever. That money will turn out to be worthless, right? And just like what they did in India, where they gave people basically 2 weeks to convert their 50 and 100 rupee bills into new currency, or the different type of currencies that were accepted, you know, that's exactly what they're going to do here in America, Babylon the Great, as it's referred to in the Bible, and all over the world. People are going to be given a particular time frame that they're going to be permitted to trade in their old money for the new currency, the CBDCs. Okay, that's the way it's going to work. And the other option, which is which India did both of these, by the way, where they're basically going to close down the banks. They're going to have a bank holiday, and that's basically where not only are the banks physically closed, but all the services, right, using of ATMs, the withdrawals, and transferring money, all that is going to be put on hold. They're going to stop it. And what's going to happen is they're going to more likely give you the option that, because what was it, in India, they closed down the banking system for 20 days while they transferred over to this new CBDC systems that they are now running on over in India. Well, in that time, they permitted people to transfer their money over into the new CBDCs and start using their money right away. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. Either that, or people are going to be given an option to slowly start trickling over to the new digital currencies. And then little by little, you're going to start noticing these CBDCs are going to be more stable. You're going to be able to buy more. Your money is not going to be as inflated as it was on the CBDCs. And everybody's going to basically flock towards the system. See, that's how the Esau works, man. He creates the problem, he waits for the reaction, and then he provides his solution, right? And now that he's destroyed the economies, right? And he's waited for people now to get upset, to talking about, rent's too damn high, inflation's too damn high. Well, now he's going to start implementing a solution, which are these new CBDCs, okay, that are governmentally ran, so they're not going to be corrupt and unsupervised and unregulated, right? And eventually what that's going to lead to is, we all know it, right? Let's actually get it real quick, right? This is Revelations 13 and 16, because you see, once we start moving over to the CBDCs and everybody starts using them on their phones and computers, then we're going to start seeing an explosion of fraud and scams galore, right? And Esau is going to let all these scams and corrupted processes flourish. And why is he going to do that? Well, because he's going to have to let the system run amok for a while, and people are going to get their little bags here and there. But eventually it's going to give Esau a reason to come in with his regulations and his solution. And the solution would be that we will all need to have some sort of biometric implant in our bodies to be able to use this new system, right? To be involved in the new world, economy, right? And we understand that as the MOTB, the mark of the beast, right? Which is going to be an RFID microchip implant in your hand or in your forehead. And this is where it talks about it in the scriptures. This is Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. That's 666. Okay, so this is ultimately where all this is leading to, man. The unstable economic system that we're currently living through, the coming destruction of the economies around the world, the implosion of the supply chains, right? Country rising up against countries. All this is to lead you and I to this hour of temptation, which is to be forced to either take the mark of the beast or opt out of the system completely. Now Esau, he plays the long game, okay? He plays the efforts to make sure that you have no real choice, right? So if you're out there and you're basically beholden to the system, let's say you live off of government welfare or subsidies, whatever, you're renting an apartment using government credits and everything, and or let's just say in general, your life depends on the current status quo of the system. Okay, well the thing is you're basically going to be under Esau's his whim, right? So when he implements the system, a lot of our people unfortunately are gonna take that MOTB, and that's because they have no other options. That and their God, which is the God that they worship, which is so-called Jesus Christ, right? The white Jesus, the Christianity, buffoonery, right? It tells these people, man, to basically trust your government, right? To trust these leaders who have been misleading you for decades, for centuries, right? And they're gonna have no foundations to stand upon, man. What does the scripture say, man? That the Lord will liken him that hears these words and doeth them to the man who built his house on a rock, and those who have heard these words but don't do them as those who built their house on sand, right? See, these people, when the time comes for them to be tempted, they're gonna fold faster than Superman on laundry day. Okay, they're not gonna withstand anything, man. They're gonna go right along with the system, just like we've seen with these whole snake bites. Okay, with these clot shots, right? What did they do, man? They were getting these shots in their churches. Okay, so that's why I'm making this video, just to show you that, to give you an update on what's going on in the economy and let you know that this is all part of Esau's plan, man. See, they understand that, by them making these private cryptocurrency markets unstable and giving them a bad stink, I guess you could say, that people are not going to go to them to hold their savings, man. That people are going to run to the government ran CBDCs, and then down the road, once everybody for the most part has jumped aboard the government ran CBDCs, be it here in America, England, India, China, Russia, then they're going to do exactly what China did. They're going to outlaw and ban privately held cryptocurrency. This is why right now China has banned Bitcoin and other things like that, man. Right? You have and again, this is all part of the plan, right? Because this is how these devils work. And why is that? Well, because not only do they want to, round up all this money and all the riches for themselves, but they want, they want more for them and less for us. Okay? They want your soul as well, right? They want everything, right? This is James 5:2. It says, well, actually, let's start at 1, because this is a great chapter, man. This basically explains Esau's, motives and his, his whole, mental state right now in these end times. This is James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Right? So this shows you, man, that these elites, these people who run the world, these kings of Edom, they've done all this, man. They've set up their agenda. They've gathered all these riches, right? They've continued their institutions, which are, as it says, moth-eaten and basically already crumbling, right? They no longer serve the people, man, right? But these devils have pushed them forward, right? And kept this system afloat. And why? So that way they could continue to do what they think they're going to do and rule, and that's to rule the world, because they believe that their houses shall continue forever, right? But as it says, man, their gold and their silver is cankered, meaning that it's corrupted. Everybody knows how they got that money, how they stole it, how they basically aggregated all the silver and gold by corrupt means. Okay, Nazi gold is an example of a corrupted form of gathering wealth, right? Also, these Wall Street executives, right? You got BlackRock over here running an AI called Aladdin that is basically just aggregating and gathering and fucking sucking up all the wealth from around the world at such high levels that people can't even compete against it. Okay, this is Esau's system, man. He has cheated his way to the top, right? And at first it was a God-given blessing, right? Because, you know, our forefather Isaac did give unto Esau a blessing, right? That he would live off the fatness of the earth, and that the world would be his dominion. But again, that was only for a short period, until the time of the end, when the Lord would then return, and then he would reign along with us Israelites forever. Okay, now again, let's continue reading. Verse 4: Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Right? That means Lord of armies. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Right? Meaning that they're found wanting. They need they're missing something, right? They didn't quite get it all. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Right? And right here where it says, behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, that is talking about us Israelites, man. The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, namely the 1/3 and the elect. Because you see, you know, though you may just think you're just some Negro, Latino, Native American that's just living in the world, you got to understand that the Lord has done all this so that way you can be here, right? You are what the Lord has been been working his mighty work to produce, right? We are the chosen people. We are those people who the Lord has worked hard and meticulously to separate out the unwanted genes and ultimately to get a perfectly good people, right? We are those people, okay? And the Lord, like it says here, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, right? And we are now ripe and ready to be picked, and that's why the Lord is soon coming on his way back. But until then, Akim, we all gotta be circumspect. We gotta watch these devils and understand that what's going on right now, be it the cryptocurrency crashing or them bringing out these new CBDCs, we got to prepare. And how do we prepare? Well, first and foremost, we got to get right with the Lord. We got to study, right? Get these scriptures into our minds, into our hearts, right? But also prepare, physically, right? Go do what the apostles have said, man. Go buy yourself a little bit of silver, a little bit of gold. Buy yourself some things that you'll know that you'll be able to use. Now remember, this ain't gonna just be like one long ass weekend. No, this is gonna be, a while. It's gonna be a while, so that you're gonna need to understand, how to survive. Which means we're gonna have to also build up, our skills on how to farm, how to live without, right? How to make do, how to repair things, right? This is why the apostles watch men like in the video that I showed, man. This is why I watch these videos, right? So that way I could learn these things. I can prepare myself. That way I'm not reliant on the system, okay? So hope this video was edifying, Akim. Until the next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Radash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.